My name is Travis Gardner and I have just come back from watching The Maze Runner. Now, I thought this was quite a good movie, and aside from getting over the initial disappointment of not seeing a Mexican kid wearing a sombrero and running through a field of corn, it was quite entertaining and kept me going the whole time. The movie was really good right up until the end where they tried to explain everything. I was no longer able to just go with the things that didn't make sense. I started thinking about them, and then they started to add in explanation on top of explanation on top of explanation. Like, not only have they been in a maze and they've escaped into some facility, but there's a post-apocalyptic world because the sun exploded or some bullshit, and everyone's dead, and there was solar flares, and also there was a virus which has turned everyone into zombies. So they've essentially tried to pack in 8 different genres on top of the ending. And I started reflecting on the things that had happened earlier in the movie. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, I probably should have said that about a minute ago. But for example, you have the Glen. It's a safe space where the group of 16-year-old boys can all just hang out and not be killed by giant cyborg spiders. Okay, so right, that makes a bunch of sense. But why was it that there were about 40 16-year-old boys, and then there was this like one little fat kid, and then all of a sudden they bring a chick in there, and you know what's going to happen. It's just going to be a disgusting free-for-all underage rape orgy. Then I started to think about the whole basic idea behind it. So what were these cyborg spider things? They come in and raid the entire village in the middle of the night, and they wipe out half the kids, but then they're like, okay, yeah, we've wiped out half the kids, and then they leave, but the gates are still open, so they still have access, and then all of the kids are like, oh my god, no, don't kill us cyborg spider creatures. As soon as they left, they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, well, we're just gonna chill now, and I suppose like it's gonna be morning soon, even though we've just lost half of the camp and no one's really sad. And then at the end of the movie where the fat kid gets killed, then everyone's like crying, no, not the fat kid. It's like 12 hours after half of them have just been completely wiped out by a giant cyborg spider army. Surely that's gonna make you as sad, at least, as the one little fat kid getting shot by the guy who was not interested in escaping the maze, and then he did. Now let's look at that for a second. So you've got this guy who's like, fuck you all and I hate you and I want to stay in the Glen forever because I'm this, like, I don't know, little ham-faced dickwad. A group of them have gone into the maze and they've run through the maze. They know where they're going because one of the group was a maze runner, so he's taken them directly to the end. He's been in there for 3 years, so he knows the route. They fought off a group of cyborg spiders and they've gone straight through the exit. They've walked along the corridor and they've gone into the facility. And then this kid who was all, oh, I don't want to go, you guys, you suck, I like the Glen. He's there, right? So he's just followed them. Now, in this maze, let's just do a little bit of mathematics here. Let's just say there were, it's a very big maze, so approximately 100 points where he could go either A or B. Now, the probability of going the right way the first time is 50% when there's 2 different routes to go. The second time, it's 25%, 12.5%, 6.25%, 3%, 1.5%, 0.8%, roughly 0.4, 0.2, 0.1. So in just 10 decisions, the chances are 1 in 1,000 that he's gone in the correct direction. Now, he just continues randomly guessing where he needs to go because he's never been in there before, so he can't possibly know, and just happens to go through the entire maze and get straight to the exit, and he wouldn't be able to identify the exit because how would he? It's just a fucking wall, and he has to press this button on the cyborg spider's fucking whatever the fuck it was that it dropped off its fucking tail part, or what the shit. The chances of him actually finding his way there are probably about millions or billions to 1. It's supremely unlikely. And then he decides to shoot the fat kid, and for no reason they're all just going to be like really massively sad because like the fat kid. Okay, so there's like 40 16-year-olds, but they have a fat kid, right? And now their fat kid has been shot. What are they going to do without their fat kid? I mean, you need a fucking fat kid. You need your fat kid, and the fat kid has been fucking shot and he's going to fucking die. Think about it. What are you going to do with a fat kid? They've already escaped. They can't even use him as bait or something. So we find out Thomas, the lead character, has been somehow involved in this facility. And there are some more incongruous things, like there's a comment along the lines of, oh, he keeps surprising us all the time. Now, he's been working in their facility, monitoring the other kids for 3 years. Quote unquote, he keeps surprising us. How is that when he's been in the maze for 3 days, and otherwise he's just been working for them. Like, what surprises has he been doing? Oh, you know what, Tom, you're so good at Excel. I just never would have known because you're a 16-year-old boy and you have no previous experience with, like, what the fuck is that? What are they talking about? What is this random comment? I mean, it makes no sense because the whole fact that the protagonist of the movie is this, like, super wunderkind who manages to kill the spiders on his first day is contingent on his genius, essentially, and his ability to surprise them. But there's no evidence of that given to us, the dear viewers. Walked out of there going, why'd they care so much about the fat kid? I mean, the spiders were dead. They didn't need him for bait. What the fuck was that? They don't even need the fat kid anymore. Like, why be so sad about a dead fat kid?